Witch Queen marks the beginning of the end for the Destiny Light and Dark saga, and the Season of the Risen has kicked off this new era for Destiny. Putting the seasonal gameplay loop and activities aside, I wanted to focus this video on the seasonal exotic, especially since it's receiving some major buffs next season. It does seem like the Witch Queen expansion and its shiny new loot has overshadowed some of the content provided to us from this season. Lots of players have completely disregarded this new exotic machine gun. In this video, I will go in depth on the Grand Overture and make the case that this weapon might even be worth your heavy slot. I'm going to break this video down into sections. First we'll go over how to get the weapon, next where it's most effective, and finally why I think this weapon is going to be really strong next season. Firstly, obtaining the weapon is the same as any other season. If you own the season pass, it's granted at rank 1, and for free players it's granted at rank 35. If you're looking to get the most out of this weapon, you might also need the catalyst, which grants the weapon a new perk and slightly more stability. The first step is some basic busy work, but the second part requires a huge amount of activity completions. Luckily, at rank 11 and 22, you are granted catalyst quest boosters, which make the progression much faster. Once you've got the catalyst, you'll need to defeat about 400 more enemies with this weapon to use it. I really think these catalyst kill objectives need to be removed, especially for catalysts that have dedicated quests requiring kills with that weapon. If you're someone who cares about how your weapon and sights look, reaching rank 100 will grant a pretty cool red ornament. And don't worry, it doesn't just change the colour, the weapon model does have some changes, the most notable being the sights. So the weapon itself is a heavy machine gun? Well, not really. The exotic perk describes the weapon as a heavy slug launcher that charges and then fires automatically. Furthermore, unlike most machine guns, this weapon isn't hit scan and fires arc projectiles. It's worth noting, even in full auto mode, this weapon will only fire at around 100 rounds per minute. So it's entirely possible for a skilled player to change target while remaining in full auto. And there is a brief grace period after firing where you can still benefit from 0 charge time from the full auto perk. As for the reload, it's 4.75 seconds, but if you play Destiny enough, I'm sure you'll find a way around that. I do just want to mention, next season this weapon will be receiving a 40% damage increase to PvE enemies. Moving on, we have the other unique perk, a Mega Strike. If you didn't already notice, this weapon is supposed to be similar to what the Colossus enemies use. If you're still unfamiliar, I typically refer to these enemies as the big-boned blindy missile boys. So a Mega Strike will load missiles for every hit with the weapon. This stacks up to 20 times. Holding reload will allow you to fire volleys of these missiles. It's worth noting, come next season, holding down fire will release all of these missiles at once. Although the ability to use these missiles in small volleys is very useful, especially since they don't require any ammo whatsoever. You can fire a volley of missiles with nothing in the magazine. Now, in combination with the catalyst, this gets pretty strong, as the catalyst causes missile explosions to blind combatants and those defeated by missiles to explode. The blinding effect is very strong and makes this weapon feel much more complete. It's pretty hard to build around this weapon at the moment, aside from maybe using some machine gun mods. But with Arc 3.0, I think this weapon will be really strong, so let me explain. With Void 3.0, we had lots of synergy and bonuses to weakened, suppressed, and volatile enemies. I think the same could be true with blinded enemies in Arc 3.0. If this is the case, the ability to blind enemies with weapons might become very strong. Not to mention next season's 40% PvE damage bonus alongside the ability to fire off all of your missiles at once. I do think people are sleeping on this weapon and it has the potential to be very strong. Anyway lads, I'm back to making videos. I hope you're all well. I can't wait for this new sandbox. With that being said, thank you so much for watching and goodbye.